Welcome to Best of the Nest, a program produced by the television production students of Armstrong High School that takes a look at things from the student's point of view. I'm Nolan Howland of AHS TV, and today we'll be taking a look at how AHS has implemented eHall Pass. We'll also be taking a look at classic rock as a musical genre, but first, Connor Swartz sat down with Mr. Toy and Dr. Snyder to discuss eHall Pass. Take it away, Connor.
Hello, I'm Connor Source, and this is Best of the Nest of AHS TV. And in this segment, we're going to be looking at eHall Pass and its effects on our school and its climate. We'll be speaking with one of our teachers and one of our administrators on their opinion on eHall Pass, whether it helps or hurts our school. But first, we're going to be taking a look at what eHall Pass is.
Hello, I'm Haley of AHS TV, and today we're taking a closer look at eHall Pass.
An eHall Pass is a browser-based online system that is used to manage the safety of students by keeping an electronic record of places outside their regular schedule that they visit during the school day, like the restroom, coffee shop, or a teacher for extra assistance. As of August 18, 2022, 1,000 schools across the United States use this system. It uses revolutionary technology to monitor where students are, who they're going to, and what time they went and returned. With mixed reviews from students, one thing is certain. Teachers and staff can help keep students safe during the school day with this system. By accessing the eHall Pass system through Clever, creating a pass couldn't be easier. Students simply select their location, then where they need to go. Once a teacher approves their pass, a timer shows on their device to log the amount of time amassed before the pass has ended. Back to you, Haley.
Well, there you have it, folks. Now, back to Connor in the studio.
Our first guest is the assistant principal of Armstrong Junior Senior High School, Mr. Toy. Thank you for joining us. And what's your typical day kind of looking like?
Typical day for me to school as an assistant principal is I do like to each morning go greet kids as they come into the building, whether it's outside in front of the school or in the lobby area, just see how they're doing, to begin their day. But traditionally, an assistant principal deals with discipline, which is no different here. Most of my day is just dealing with discipline referrals. With 1,500 kids in the building, it keeps me pretty busy. So that's the majority of my day.
This sounds busy.
Yes.
So what's your general opinion on eHall Pass?
I think eHall Pass has been a positive addition to our school here. When we did the strategic plan a couple summers ago, we created our core values based on that and what our goals were here. And safety was one of our first goals. That's our September core value. And safety is something very important to us. It's important to the students. It's important to our community. So we felt eHall Pass was a good addition because that helps us keep students safe. We know where everybody's at all times. It gives us a lot of data. We can see some of the hot spots in the building, like if certain restrooms are used during certain times of the day. It helps us maybe monitor that a little closer and it just ensures student safety.
So do you believe that eHall Pass is so valuable that it should be implemented in other schools?
I do. I recommend it to any school. Mr. Lorgan and I just met with the faculty at West Shamokin High School last week because they were asking about it. So we went out and explained how we use it to the staff, and I believe that they are going to move forward and use it. Some of the things we talked about, the staff out there thought was really, really valuable, and they would like to use it there. So we actually, a teacher here in the building, introduced it to us because they knew of another school that was using it in the Pittsburgh area, and so that's what turned us on to it. So yeah, I think it's a good thing.
So what kind of changes have you seen around the school as a result of eHall Pass?
Like I said earlier about, we find hot spots in the building. It helps us monitor those hot spots, Obviously, there's certain restrooms that get a little busier at certain times of days. So it just helps us monitor, helps us, deter any negative behaviors that might come from students. It also allows us to set limits to where if there's students with conflicts with one another, we can set a limit so that the pass won't allow them both in the hallway at the same time, and so forth. But it's definitely, most of it's geared around safety, and we keep looking at the data and see what we need to do to improve.
Do you think there's some setbacks of eHall Pass, and how can the school improve upon them?
I know the eHall Pass has had some problems with their servers in the past, where with any technology you get some faultiness with it. So anytime that it's been down, we go to the old green hall passes that we've used before, and we don't really miss a beat. But I think there's probably parts of it we haven't used completely, because there is a lot there. But being that this is kind of our first full year of using it, we'll get better at it and add things as we want. But I know one thing we definitely want to add is we would like to add some eHall Pass capabilities to the cafeterias for lunch, study halls, things like that, to be able to use it everywhere.
So with a cost of $3 per student and an implementation fee of $1,000, do you think eHall Pass is really worth the price?
Yeah, honestly, safety, to me, everything's worth it. I think that's our number one priority here, is to keep students safe. So I really don't think in the greater scheme of things it's really that much money. So yeah, it's definitely worth it.
And do you think eHall Pass is here to stay?
Yeah, for now, I think for now we're going to keep using it. We like what it does for us here, and until we think that we need to make a change and improve what we're doing, we'll continue using it. And if that means someday it's not helping us as much anymore, or it's actually harming us, we'll switch it up and see what else is out there. And, we continue to evolve, and so we can meet those core values. So,
all right. Yeah. Glad to hear it. And thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us here, Mr. Toy. And please welcome our new guest, Dr. Snyder. So, what's your typical day looking like?
I am pretty much busy all day. I start with my homeroom period and then go right into physics. And then days 1, 3, and 5, I continue on with physics. And then I have more physics. And then I have stats. And then I have linear algebra. And then I have calculus. And then I have physics, more physics. So it's a busy day.
Quite the packed day.
It is a packed day.
All right. So what's your general opinion on eHall Pass?
I think the theory behind eHall Pass is wonderful. The being able to monitor which students are in the hall at what time is a perfect theory. Making sure that combinations that maybe have an animosity between them are not in the hall at the same time. Good theory behind eHall Pass.
All right. So how do you think eHall Pass has sort of affected our school?
That I'm really not sure. I know that there have been glitches this year in eHall Pass that are frustrating. There are things that I think need to be worked out as far as our school's concerned. I think some students find it annoying that they have to do it. However, from a teacher's point of view, I no longer have to fill out a pass. That all comes from the students' part. So I guess it saves me a little bit of work there. But there are definitely glitches that need to be ironed out, either from the software company itself or the way we're handling it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know most of my teachers, it's been down at least like once every other week. It's crazy. And that brings us to our next question. Is there anything you would change about eHall Pass? Any problems or just general?
Well, like I said, just the software upgrade, or us learning to use it better, or maybe a training from the company. Maybe there's something that inherently we're doing wrong that makes it so sluggish. And we all I guess we all as a faculty need to be on the same page, as well as the students. We need to take it seriously, and we need to, if it's going to be effective, we need to take it seriously, and everyone has to get involved in using it.
So, do you think e-hall pass has helped our school more, or helped the junior high side or the senior high side more?
I think pretty much, since I'm in the third floor and we see very few of the problems. For one thing, we don't have junior high, but I have heard that it is pretty effective in the junior high as far as keeping hallway traffic down.
All right. Do you think students use the restroom more or less now that e-hall pass has been
I think
introduced?
less. I think they want to fill out a pass. Although I will note that between classes, I'm sure the restroom is much busier, because that way you don't have to fill out a pass. You just zip, and sometimes you're late to your class because you zip to the restroom between classes. I would say that's the time the restroom is busier, because people just don't want to take the time to fill out the pass.
Yes. And, do you believe that e-hall pass is of such value that it should be implemented in like other schools in the area?
I think there have been, according to our administration, that when they researched this, it has been used very effectively in other schools, which is, we in Armstrong, and I'm sure this is true in a lot of school districts that are funded by taxes, you don't just go out and buy something, you do some research into it. So I'm sure it has been effective, or we wouldn't have bought it in the first place.
Oh, of course. So, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come down and to talk to us. And that's all we have for you guys today. As you see, impressions about electronic hall passes vary from person to person. But one thing is certain, and that is Armstrong School District is and has been abreast on the latest technologies to ensure great outcomes for their students. Thank you to our guests, and thank you for tuning into our show.
Thanks, Connor. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back with more of AHS TV's Best of the Nest.
All your professors, all of them, they know that all it takes is one dreamer with passion, one person, and they hope in each of you that you might be that one who makes a longer-lasting light bulb, who writes music for the ages, who reaches into the mind and discovers a new star, and who can change the world of a fifth grader. We're gathered here to hope in you.
Going on to college signals independence, but independence doesn't mean you have to go it alone. At IUP, we'll assign you a guide from day one, someone you can turn to for advice or encouragement. And our Q&A center will point you in the right direction and get you the answers you need. We know a little help will take you a long way. We believe in you. IUP.
When I was in high school, I didn't know where I wanted to go to college. But I did know I wanted a major with job potential, and a campus that felt like the right place for me. I chose IUP. I'm studying on a beautiful campus with great professors who focus on student success and 140 academic majors. I'm Megan Spangler. I study nursing. Find your success at IUP.
And we're back with more of AHS TV's Best of the Nest. I'm Nolan Hallman of AHS TV. Up next, Eliza Smith takes us on a musical journey through the genre of classic rock. Let's take a look.
Hello, I'm Eliza Smith of AHS TV, and in this segment of Best of the Nest, we will be taking a look at classic rock and how it is viewed from a teacher's perspective. Today, I'm joined with Mrs. Gibbon to get a hawk's eye view. But first, let's take a closer look to classic rock.
Hello, I'm Ethan of AHS TV.
And I'm Aiden.
And today we're going to be taking a closer look at classic rock.
Logan, how do you think that classical rock influenced today's music genre?
I mean, I think everywhere you kind of look, it's a version of classical rock, just a different style of it. I mean, rap's classical rock just sped up and the beats are a little different, but like, it's really similar.
I could definitely see that. I agree.
Like Bought by the Baby, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it
so
definitely
many.
has that guitarish kind of classical rock
it
feel
does.
to it.
So, what is your favorite rock band?
I'm a big fan of the Dave Matthews Band as well as Pink Floyd.
Okay. And what is your honest personal opinion about classic rock?
Is there any other kind of rock except for classic rock? It's what everybody should listen to, because stuff that's made now is not as soulful, not as meaningful, not as musically inclined. Yeah, that's a good one.
So, what's your personal opinion about classic rock?
I like it. I'm used to listening to it. Grew up listening to it.
Do you have any favorite bands or artists?
We talking like 80s rock kind of? Yeah.
What's going on, guys? My name is Aiden Schaefer, and I'm here with
Logan Hooks.
I'm going to be asking some questions about classical rock to him today. So first off, look, how often do you listen to classical rock?
I'd say once a month. You know, I get in that mood. I just want to hear some Queen, stuff like that.
Yeah, I usually get in that mood too, usually around the summertime.
Yeah, it is a good summertime listen.
Yeah. So, what are some bands that you like to listen to?
Queen, especially the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I do like them, and the Beatles are the top group.
They're top tier, yeah. So, Logan, do you like any? Do you have any favorite songs from those bands, or?
I mean,
do you have any songs that pump you up for the hockey game?
I mean, just Here Comes the Sun. I know it's just not like a big pump up song, but it gets me going. It gets my juices going.
It can definitely. I feel like it has a benefit to pump some more blood into the veins.
Yeah, it does. It's a great song.
Well, there you have it, folks. Straight from the Hawk's beak.
Thanks, Aiden and Ethan. For those of you just joining us, I'm Eliza Smith of AHS TV, and I'm joined today with Mrs. Gibbon to talk about classic rock. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here.
Now, what are your thoughts on classic rock?
I like it. I think that classic rock is one of those genres of music that has influenced so many other genres. It's impossible to not be a part or alive in our world without having exposure or some sort of appreciation for some classic rock.
And would you please tell our viewers about classic rock?
Classic rock is a genre of music that has themes that are universal enough to apply to people throughout cultures and communities and time. It is a genre of music that I think, is mostly guitar sound. And it typically is considered rock music from between the 1960s to 1990s. But I have no doubt that some music today could become classic rock hits somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And would you say classic rock is related more to a time period or a sound, or do you just merge the two together to determine that distinction?
Classic rock is definitely a conglomeration. You can't have just a song with a great guitar solo or a guitar feature in it and expect it to be a classic rock hit. No, you have to have all of those things together to make it what it is.
Now, what do you think is the most influential or important classic rock band, and why would you think that?
I would have to say it's the original. I would say the Beatles. And I mean, I might be wrong in saying that they are the original classic rock band, but I want to say that they really brought that special sound and that special beat together. They really bridged cultures with their music, and people still listen to the Beatles today. I know once I was taking my students on a field trip to New York City, and the tour guide gave us a choice of going to the Strawberry Fields section of Central Park and the Shakespeare's Garden section of Central Park. And you know me, I'm an English teacher. I really want to go to Shakespeare's Garden. And they have the little castle there. It's really cool and nifty. But my kids understood. They knew what Strawberry Fields was because of the Beatles. And I mean, this is 40, 50 years removed from their music. So it's a band that has really influenced a lot of people.
Now, what do you think has kept classic rock around to this day?
The most simple answer is the fact that the lyric in classic rock songs are so universal. There are things that people can relate to, again, no matter the time, the place, or the location.
What is your favorite genre of music, and how does it relate to classic rock in your opinion?
To ask a person their favorite genre of music is akin to asking an English teacher what their favorite novel is. It's so hard to pick just one. My favorite genre of music changes from day to day, but I will tell you that classic rock is always part of that fabric. Whether I'm in the mood to listen to Broadway music or country music or even rap music, and yes, I know I'm old, but I do listen to rap sometimes, and I get in those moods. But at the center of it all is this deep and abiding appreciation for classic rock. You always have to go back to the classics.
I agree. And to wrap things up, would you choose the band Aerosmith or Bon Jovi?
That is incredibly hard, being a late 70s baby, a girl who grew up on both bands in the 80s. There is a spot in my heart for Bon Jovi and Slash sitting there with his amazing guitar, but Aerosmith was my first concert, and Aerosmith actually wrote a song in the 90s called Pink. Pink is my favorite color, so I gotta go with Aerosmith.
Thank you, Mrs. Gibbon, and thank you again for joining us today to get a hawk's eye view on classic rock. Until next time, I'm Eliza Smith of AHS TV. Keep on soaring.
Well, that's our show for this week. Best of the Nest is a production of the students enrolled in television production courses at Armstrong High School. Join us again next time for a look at some of the unique things happening in and around Armstrong High School from the students' point of view. Until then,